everybody, and welcome back to the next episode in dialing in HX Stomp edition. So this is the second time I've had a chance to do a dialing in video for HX Stomp, and I was going to wait a little longer to do this, but yesterday we got the 2.7 update. I did the first dialing in with some beta version of HX Edit. We didn't really go too much into it, just showing you kind of how it looked to edit the stomp. HX Stomp inside of HX Edit. So this time I want to talk a couple of interesting features in the new HX Edit 2.7. A lot of you are already aware of the new tuners we've got. The Strobe Tuner, absolutely love it, absolutely amazing. It's going to be my go-to tuner, flat out. It's just incredible. I compared it to my Peterson Strobe Tuner, and it's bang on. So awesome work, Line 6 on that. But there is a couple other features I want to talk about with it. And then I'm going to show you actually how I dialed in a preset that I had created for the factory presets. I have 10 factory presets on the HX Stomp that were included with every unit that's sold. I had actually provided Line 6 with more, but they just didn't have the physical room in the unit with all the other presets they had to put in. So I did one that was designed kind of to sort of be in the vein of Alex Lifeson's Limelight solo. Unfortunately, it didn't make it onto the factory presets, but I figured I'm going to put it up there now for anybody who wants to add it in, and I'll put it up for Helix as well, just so the Helix folks don't feel left out with it. And again, it's not by any means saying I copied it or any the tone. It's just more of in the vibe. And I have a performance video up of me using that exact tone from the HX Stomp unprocessed afterwards in the mix, just so you can hear what it sounds like actually performing Alex's Limelight solo. So let's go over to my computer screen here. What you're going to see is Cubase that I have running right now, which is recording my guitar track. But the reason I left that as such, let's go over there so you see it running. I don't have HX Edit open because I wanted to show you one of the new cool features in it. And a lot of folks have been saying, you know, how can I get maybe my Stomp presets into my Helix, or Helix presets into my Stomp, if there's only 6 blocks, the limitation of the Stomp. And they're not interchangeable files, unfortunately. We can't just import one from the other for obvious reasons, right? The block limitation and DSP limitation and whatnot. So what Line 6 has done with 2.7 is they've allowed us to have more than one instance of HX Edit open. So right now what I have hooked up via USB with my computer is HX Stomp and Helix Floor. So watch what happens when I go down here to my HX Edit icon and click it. So we notice that HX Edit pops up and it says connecting, but we're going to notice it says HX Stomp up here, but we're going to notice a second instance of HX Edit open automatically because it detected that I have both Stomp and Floor hooked up. And let me just get these windows side by side so we can function with both of them, okay? So what you see here on Helix is I have the preset dir::Lifeson LGHT.js. Now this is what was going to be, what happened with HX Stomp when we were creating the presets to give to Line 6 is we had to create them in Helix because the software wasn't available for HX Stomp yet. So we created them in Helix, and then the folks at Line 6 basically copied all the parameters into Stomp, okay? So I have this preset on Helix, and I have a blank preset over here on Stomp, right? Obviously the limitations you see are different here. We have 2 paths, right? Over here with possibility for numerous blocks for Helix, and we can see up here it says Helix Floor, and over here HX Stomp, right? And as you can also see, I haven't updated HX Stomp to 2.7 yet, so bear with me on that. I'm still in beta mode here. No worries, so. I have my block limitation. So we say, how can we get this over to HX Stomp? Well, this is how simple they've made it. I can go block by block, and since there's only 6 blocks, I can just click on a block, Control-C, or right-click and copy, right? As we can see, I don't know what that would be on Mac for the Mac folks, but anyways, for Window folks, Control-C. I can come over here and Control-V, go to my mod block, Control-C, over to Stomp, Control-V, my amp and cab block, copy that. Whoops, I'm sorry, I guess that didn't copy properly. Control-C, there we go. I have my delay block, copy that, verb, and my final little compressor at the end. And done. And it's that fast. I've now got that preset copied over to HX Stomp. So I can close down floor. Okay, let's fill our whole window here with HX Stomp. There we go, great. So I think that's a really cool feature in 2.7, the ability to be able to just copy and paste the presets back and forth. So a real good move by Line 6 to allow us to have multiple instances of HX Edit open and then to also be able to copy and paste so easily, right? The other really interesting thing we have is the new marketplace. If you go down here, you sign into your account, right? You can see how it says Jason down here. It's a little more personal now, HX Edit. Treats us nicely. We can manage account, get more presets, get more IRs. So this has kind of been a soft launch right now for Marketplace, where we're going to be able to purchase, right? From HX Edit, it'll take us to a browser. We can purchase. Right now, there's some great presets up there by Glenn DeLon and a couple other companies. I have some news coming on that in the near future, so stay tuned for that. I can't really say too much yet, but it's a really neat feature that you can see how they're really trying to build HX Edit into something more than just an editor, right? Which is really cool. So what do I have for this preset here? Oh, actually the other thing was, I could have also I should have done that before, but I could have also copied the name over as well. I'll just name it that for now, Lifeson Limelight, just by copy and pasting the text, okay? So let's take a look at what I did here. Now, a few things with HX Stomp, obviously with the limitations. I really, as I mentioned in my first dialing in video with it, I really like to stick with that compressor at the end. It's really my favorite thing to do. It just gives everything a nice glue, I find, that helps when I record or I'm playing live. Everything sits in the mix so much nicer, as so many folks know. So I had my normal settings there, 5.5, peak reduction, gain at 5, no big deal. The verb for this, I went with a Hall with a decay of 5, pre-delay of 10 milliseconds, mix of 26%. The delay, surprise, surprise, again, I went with transistor tape, set to the note sync of a quarter note. Now, one thing is, the tempo on that song, I believe, is 131, so I would come up here and change that since I am using note sync. I wouldn't want that at 120. The delay would be a little bit out of time with the song. Feedback of 10%. I left the wow and flutter where it was. Mix at 30%. You could turn your trails on or off if you need them to be such. I went with a little chorus on this. Note sync of a whole note, depth at 5, pre-delay at 4, wave shape was sine, tone of 5, and mix of 50%, just to get a bit of that swirliness that Lifeson got. It doesn't really match it. That's a really incredible, kind of cool modulation thing he has going on. I also added in a Minotaur with pretty heavy gain of 8, tone of 4, okay? And what I do on the amp, well, see, what I've done is I've amalgamated the amp and cab block now to save, obviously, block space that's at a premium for HX Stomp. So I went with the Matchstick Channel 2, believe it or not. It just sounded really good. Cranked the channel drive to 10, kept the tone at 1, cut at 0, presence at 1, master at 10, channel volume at 8.8, and all the deeper functions I think I just left alone. And I went with the 212 silver bell, which I believe is the stock matching cab for that. You know what, I can't really remember, but anyways, I ended up here, whether it was a stock one or something I chose. Went with 121 ribbon, which I love, distance of 5 inches back. I didn't use any high or low cuts on the cab and no early reflection. So there is no high or low cut blocks on this, but it just seemed to work fine. It's a smooth tone and it cut nicely in the mix. So the way that this sounds then is like this. All right, so even without that chorus effect, somebody didn't want that swirliness to it. right? I mean, I guess we could even use it for a bit if we so desired. Again, this is not me trying to match that tone. It was more quickly dialing in something sort of to get that vibe going. So go listen to the performance video I posted today as well, which is me playing over a Limelight backing track with this tone exactly as you'd see it here through HX Stomp, right? Nothing changed in the mix afterwards, just so you can kind of hear how it blends in with the backing track, and it shows, I think it's a pretty usable tone to get close to the vibe that Alex was going for. And again, you're not trying to match it before anybody tells me that it wasn't matched. I know. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. A couple cool features in 2.7. The copy and pasting and the multiple instances of HX Edit windows for all the devices we have hooked up, I think is a really great move and allows us to be able to move presets or recreate by copy and paste the presets from, let's say, HX Stomp to Helix or vice versa, right? So really handy stuff. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to put this up on CustomTone that I'm aware yet, because I don't think there's an HX Stomp section. So I'm gonna figure out a way to get a link up for those who want this preset for HX Stomp, and it'll be in the description below, okay? So please, like, check there. I don't want to have to answer a million comments sort of reposting the link, so it'll be there. So I probably just won't answer those messages. It's very time consuming when everybody asks me to post, where's the link, right? Oh, sorry, something fell there. So I'll find a way to put that up, but I will put this preset up for Helix users too, in case anybody wants it. And like I said, this was sort of a leftover one from the presets that there wasn't, the factory presets I made for HX Stomp that there wasn't room for. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like the video, share it if you don't mind, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate all the support and the kind words. And I'll be back soon with some more content. All right, guys, thanks again for tuning in, and ciao for now. Take care.